we're back.
Perfect.
Episode 37.
I honestly don't know what it is. 27?
8.
27? I think it's 27. I don't know.
27, 28.
I'll look real fast.
Doing one a week. While we wait, the snow is melting and sun is shining. And I found my first shed of the year.
Get it close. Hold it close. There you go. Yeah, 27.
Good 2 incher. It's the smallest one I've ever found. So
There's that.
I drove over it, I think.
Take it when you can.
Yep.
Counts it.
Smallest one I've ever found.
Count it.
It's easy to find the big ones.
Right.
Hard to find the small ones. But yeah, the snow's melting. You've been out shed hunting. I have not. Besides like looking at my food plots and with Jace. So I haven't really been.
And I've won
tromping.
once.
You found 5, 6?
Found 5. The other kid that hunts the farm, he found 1 before he had to leave. So we found 6 altogether, then a small deadhead.
Nice. I'm looking to get out. Seeing, after you were tromping around through the snow and finding them, I'm ready to take Jace out. And there's one buck in particular that just showed up on one farm. And he showed up the day I put out the feeder, and he came back through. And the next day he came back to the feeder, his antler popped off, and now he's got both of them popped off. So I'm about 99% sure they're both on the farm.
Probably up where
I think
Houdini shed his.
I think his second one might be up there, but I think his first one he was heading back to where Bozo. There's a south-facing slope.
Okay.
It's not a very big area, but yeah. So I'm gonna go look at that probably, maybe Sunday. So I'm excited to get out and do some walking. I got the Tour V that's there, so I'll be able to zoom around. It's by far the best thing to do for sheds is stand up on that thing, get a bit better overlook of the area and terrain. You can go up hills and
especially open areas, just cover it.
Even in the timber, if there's trails.
Yeah.
It's nice.
You can get a little cattywampus on anything, that or an e-bike if you're trying to like zigzag.
Yeah, the e-bike will not go up the hill at all.
Right.
But that Tour V's got so much torque.
Yeah.
You just got to lean forward, hold on.
Yep.
So,
I don't know when I'll get out again. Like my main farm, I bet you 80% are still holding. I was getting ready to go, and then 2 nights ago I had 6 different bucks show up on the corn, and I went, nope. Just sit there.
Spotty. I have one farm too, kind of northwest of here, that's got every deer still holding. So
that's crazy. Yeah, and then I got a farm over east of Des Moines that I think I have 2 bucks still holding, but I have like 5 or 6 completely different shed. Like I know they're different deer for sure, and there could even be more, but I might go walk around there, but I'm just not in a super hurry.
Yeah, you got a few deer that you're going to search for. I have a couple that are really nice, but nothing that I'm like, I need to get out there and try to find.
Not like years past, and like I said, my uncle's farm is like the main farm where I've had a bunch of history with deer.
Mm-hmm.
And like the farm I bought, I just couldn't get out there early enough to put the feed, put the bales and stuff, and literally all the snow's gone now off the farm, and I have like a group of like 6 or 8 does every night, every other night will come and hit both bales, but I found out I have a huge coyote problem.
It's huge. Time to shoot some coyotes.
Huge coyote problem. Like I was wondering right by the hawk line, I'm like, how are there were deer out there every night I hunted it. How are there not more deer here? And I would like get pictures, and I'm like, why are there no deer in the pictures? And then you start looking, you're like, freaking coyote 60 yards away. You could see his 2 eyes really close, and then next thing you know, there's another set. And you're like, well, that's why.
Yep. Back to not being able to get out the feed. I think everybody was pretty much in a similar boat here in Iowa. We had the end of season, then you had not even a few days, and we hit winter. Like winter flipped the switch. It was like 30 inches of snow, negative 22 degrees, and you couldn't get into your farms unless you had a snowmobile, which I've seen a few guys were putting alfalfa out.
Or big tractors, 4x4 tractors.
Yeah. Even that, it's tough. Like our little tractor was gelled
Right.
up, and it was so cold out.
Yeah, I mean, you'd have to be a farmer to be doing
Yeah,
that
but
stuff.
the majority of the deer hunters that they don't
Yeah.
have that kind of stuff. So that's why it was when we have that little window, everybody and their brother was getting alfalfa and corn and trying to get it out. So I ended up getting my feed out, and one farm the deer just hammered it. The other farm the feed are still full because it's the first time they've ever witnessed that. So
Right, and I thought that might be an issue with mine, but I don't have my feeder out because it's at my uncle's in the middle of the. I have a spot
now it's
in the
hard to
bedroom.
get in there because it's so muddy.
Yeah, now I can't drive back in there. So I mean, I bought enough bales and enough corn to split between my farm and my uncle's, and nobody had been in my uncle's since deer season was over. And of course, the plow truck had went by the gravel road, and there was like a 7-foot berm, and I'm like, I
Yep,
can't
not
get
getting back
through
there.
there. So I had to dump it all at at my farm, and
No antlers?
There it sits.
Yep.
Haven't had a buck on it since like I think the 6th of January. The big one I was after was there on the 6th. So I don't know if he lived, but like I said, there's a cut ag field 3/4 of a mile away.
Where they're going. But-
Probably there.
So yeah, most of the team has got out, and you edited the first shed video, which yeah, hopefully you guys have watched that. We had a couple guys. Was it Michael?
Yep.
That found 90,
They're like 98 inches and it's chewed.
and it's chewed. It's absolutely stunning.
It's a huge shed.
Yeah, it looks large. And then
Trent,
Trent found a big one.
big set. Yeah.
Dylan's found a bunch of little ones. But the guys are getting out. I know Brad hoofed it around. Was it last weekend? I was just talking to him a couple days ago. And Illinois, and I don't think he found a single one. Most of his deer are still holding. So,
Yeah. Yep.
and then what's his face? Hunter got out today.
Yeah.
Found
big
that
Kentucky-
side.
I think Kentucky.
I think his dad found the other side.
Okay,
a couple days prior.
Unless he's in Ohio or something.
True.
I know they hunt both.
One of the
both
two.
states. So
But yeah, we'll be getting those shed videos do very well for us. So we'll be pumping those out as much as we can.
Yeah.
Like, I found the smallest shed probably that will be found by the team. Maybe. Who knows? Christian finds some.
he finds a lot of antlers.
Yep. There's some guys out there that just have eyes for it. I know I took Lee, our buddy, a few years ago to where I shot Newt, and we walked, and I thought I was pretty good at finding antlers. I walked by 2 sheds that were smaller,
Right.
and he goes, "Hey, you gonna pick that up?" I go, "What?" He's like, "Oh, that? Oh, yeah."
Yeah.
So there's guys that have the knack for it. I'd say we're pretty good at it because we've been doing it for a while, but it takes a
I think it's a
keen
style.
eye.
I think it's a style. I move fast. Like I try to cover
you will walk by that almost every time.
99% of the time. Like I had one, the 5th shed I found, it was literally on a down tree, and I put my hand on the tree to go over it, and it was sitting right there. But both of the sets that I found 2 sets and then a single. I had seen one and completely didn't even see the second one till later.
Yep.
You know, with doing the YouTube stuff, you're sending Snapchats to everybody in the group, but then you're also saving different video for everything. And I had taken 2 videos of the first shed, and the match was in between me and that one.
Yep.
Didn't even realize it.
Yeah, there's definitely a style, like you said, and I'm the same way. I like to walk my properties. I like to walk them really fast. I'll hit them thoroughly if I know that there's a certain deer in there. But if I know there's blah blah blah, nothing in particular, I'll walk as fast as I can, as much as I can at the same time, and circle back around type of thing.
Yeah.
Come back in 2 or 3 weeks and try it again. But it's fun. I enjoy probably more going with Jace than I have ever enjoyed going shed hunting. It's just
He seems like he likes to do it.
he likes to do it. I got in the mail today. The Amazon guy dropped off a shed antler, and I got some wax to put on it and try to help train the pup.
Okay.
I know you're at that point too. With you just got a shot collar for your dog.
Yeah, I was worried he might want to take off, and it's more for that. And he found out at home, no barking, But their labs are smart. They get it figured out fast, and it's exciting starting all over because. I mean, Otis was right at 14 when we put him down, and I mean, you were with a couple times. He'd find some sheds, and it's
tough training the second go around.
It is. It is. and maybe we'll do a whole podcast on it once we get ours out a little bit more. But if there's one key that I could tell everybody, if you're training a dog or you take your dog out shed hunting, never touch the shed. Make sure that dog, it's almost like with a kid, make sure the kid finds the shed. You make sure that dog finds every single shed, whether he runs by it 5 times, whatever. You can get 2 feet away and call him right to it.
Yep.
But make
their nose is way better than ours.
Make them find it. And I took the fresh sheds, put them in my basement. I kind of keep them off to the side, and I'll throw them in the big pile at the end of the year. And Oliver went down in the room with me, and I was doing something on the computer, and I just look over, and he's over there grabbing one of the brand new ones and ran it upstairs. So he knows. I mean, he plays with them and chews on them all the time, but he could smell it and taste it, and he picked the one that was the freshest. The small one had a little bit of blood on it.
That and just repetition. Just get them out as much as you can, and it's like we're in the kind of the same boat with training our dogs, and I'm trying to train Luna to sit and stay before she eats and not jump up on Jace. And
so and the kids they want it because they kind of think it's fun until it's not fun anymore, and then they hate it, and then they're yelling at the dog and pushing the dog down, and that's how my kids are too.
Yep.
You know, they come home, Oliver, give me a hug, and they'll get up there and he'll pop up on there, and then one time he'll accidentally hit them in the face and
scratch them,
and they lose their mind. Dumb dog, I hate you. It's like, well, you asked for it.
Yeah, this is my first purebred lab, and like we've talked on the podcast before, they came from the same owner, not the same necessarily mom and dad,
not the same bloodline.
But having a purebred lab, and she is, I'd say it's not harder to train her. It's just harder because I have Jace and Jen. Like they do something different than I do as far as training. But the dog is so smart. Like she had an accident in the house. I look at her, kind of give her a stare. She went and ran to the kennel.
They know.
Like she's very smart dog. So
and Oliver's the same way too. Like he knows. Whoops. I shouldn't have chewed that up, you know, and you walk in there, and it's just tail between the legs, and he goes and hides, and he knows, they know that they messed up.
And you're training your dogs strictly for sheds, and this is the first time I'm training mine strictly for sheds. In the years past, we used to go duck hunting all the time with my dad. We trained, Daisy the first thing I was throwing ducks for her, duck wings and stuff, and she got trained with ducks and pheasants. And so this one's strictly whitetails, sheds, so.
Yeah, and if you want to, and once they learn hey, let's not run super far, you want to take her out pheasant hunting and stuff, stay close. I mean, they'll figure it out.
Maybe find some sheds when we're pheasant hunting.
Yeah, but
it's fun. It's just now that we're getting maybe some nicer weather, we can get them out a little more. And have you looked into? So you got a shot collar. Have you looked into like the Apple AirTags collars? No. They're super cheap. So I have an Apple AirTag. I have a couple of them. I have one on my wallet, which it's nice. So this little thing right here.
Right, yeah.
So if I lose this, I can get on my phone, find my app, find it. Jace has one for a watch we throw in his backpack. So we know where he's at.
Yep.
It's super cheap, easy way. Throw it in a collar. So you don't have to pay that prescription fee. It's just you have an Apple phone.
Right.
It's pretty cool.
I'm sure they probably also have just things you can add to the collar, like little clips.
They do. They're pretty expensive.
Really?
Well, not for the Apple. The Apple ones, they're just the round thing. You put those in. But if you have a tracking collar, it's not cheap.
Well, yeah. I mean, you'd probably have something for the Apple where you could just mount it to the collar.
Yep. If you go on Amazon, you can find them.
Okay.
That they basically it's just this little tiny thing.
Yep.
Pops right on the collar. Pretty easy.
I might have to look into it because I'm, like I said, with the pups, you never know how they're going to act the first time they see a bunch of deer running away, or the first time they see a coyote, or the first time, I'll never forget. Otis was probably 2, and he'd treat a bobcat, like shed hunting this time of year, and he'd treat a bobcat, and I'm like, what? And trying to get him off of that. Luckily, the cat went up the tree.
But it was bad.
It could have been really bad.
And there's, safety is the biggest thing, obviously, when it comes to our dogs and knowing where they're at, and if they chase a deer, so be it. And the reason I'm kind of talking about that is my coworker's dog. He had a husky that's probably around Oliver's age.
Okay.
And right before the snowstorm down in Winterset, it chased a deer, hasn't been back.
Really?
So they have flyers down there. So maybe if you guys are listening and you're down by that Winterset area, keep your eye out. But it's kind of a sad deal.
Yeah, and I mean, and there's a million different reasons why the dog didn't come back.
Yeah, it could have. Someone could have took it. Like, it's such
Yep.
a nice puppy.
And that's the thing. Like
Yep.
if I opened up my door and I saw a dog in the snowstorm, I'm gonna bring it inside. I'm not even thinking.
It was
twice.
right before the snowstorm, like
Okay.
a couple weeks. But they had a couple leads that they saw this dog here, and at that time frame, I was on Instagram and flipping through reels, and there was this video. This guy lost his dog, and he walked out back of his house, and I think the setting was like Colorado, Utah. There the dog is up the tree. That's kind of like a 45-degree angle, stuck up there. So he ended up climbing up it and getting it down. It was a pretty good sized dog. But who knows? It could have fell in somewhere. It's all those options. Things go through your head, and I feel for the guy.
Right.
I work with him, and I would hate if Luna went missing. But if you can spend $10 or whatever it is for that air tag, put it on a collar, at least you can track that collar.
Yeah, no, definitely.
And you can make sounds too, like you lose your wallet, you can make it do a sound, and it makes
Really,
it's pretty cool.
yeah. Have to look into it a
Option
little bit
for
more.
you guys. But
Nice.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I think we got enough footage for the second shed video.
already.
Yeah,
Is this gonna be the picture?
maybe.
We'll take a picture outside.
Yeah, might be a thumbnail.
I honestly, when I found this thing, if you guys are listening to this and not watching it on YouTube, it's a inch shed. It's almost,
It's smaller than your finger. That's just
yes, it is smaller than my finger. So I thought it was like a top to a pumpkin.
It looks like
a
it,
gourd.
like a gourd top.
Yeah,
100%. That's funny. But yeah, no, guys have been stacking them up. Goodwin's been finding quite a few, some pretty darn solid sheds. And
he's been fine. Like
and I
last
found
2
5
nights.
and,
Yeah,
so it doesn't take much to do a video, but I'm all for it. Then it's just people are just gonna keep going over the weekends.
Yep.
It's as long as it's still nice and whatnot, people are still gonna go.
yeah. Jason and I found 50 last year.
That's a lot.
And
yeah, you had that one really, really good field that you piled up.
Yeah, I think we found
late.
like 8 or 9 in there, but we hit a lot of these little spots and found 2, 3. And
It adds up.
yeah, we haven't hit any of those spots yet. Like I said, the stuff over northwest of here, they're still holding. So
The funny thing was, when I was finding those sheds, I was like, this is the first time I have more sheds than Greg going into February. Because normally you find 20.
oh yeah,
Working.
before you even go.
Yeah, before I even
yeah.
go, just whether it be working or just walking real fast, because you're trying to find a deer.
Yep.
And you would find random sheds while you're looking for this particular deer.
I used to have time after work. I'd spend an hour or two, go shed hunt, and then go pick up Jace.
Right.
And I would do that consistently back to back to back. And now it's Jason wants to go, so
Yeah.
I'm not even adamant about going.
Yeah.
He wants to go every night. Like, I'll go pick him up after this podcast. We going shed hunting.
Right.
Got one lost his shed. Let's go find it. So I tell you what, I have some good pictures of that one, and the right side that I know he lost within that that Bozo area.
Right.
I think it's pretty big. His left side's weak, but his right side's got some trash on it. No, there's 4 good deer on that farm.
So it's not the one that we talked about last time where he lifted his head up, and it's not the one at the splits.
Nope, it's another one.
Nice.
So, and this is a random one, which is kind of cool. This guy messaged me on Instagram, and he said, "Hey, I got the same pictures. Where do you hunt over here?" I'm like, "Oh, I hunt in this general area." And,
You got to be vague.
yeah,
first.
you don't if you don't know who they are and what they're going for.
Yep.
Like if you were to call me up, I'd tell him exactly where it was. But he's kind of beating around the bush, and he sent me a trail cam picture of a side profile, and it's a good deer. It's not big. I mean, it's nice.
Yeah, and we find that out all the time. I won't go into too much detail, but I had somebody message me on Facebook and ask where a certain shed was from our first shed video. Like, hey, where did they find that? Where do they hunt? And I'm like, not my thing.
Yep. Ask them.
Ask them. And come to find out that it was like they own like a bunch of farms in that area and had pictures of it and passed the deer and all that stuff. I'm like, oh, maybe you guys can work together.
Be friends?
Or,
And that's the biggest thing is we like to work with people and make friends. It's
Oh, yeah.
It's not just
It's
about
awesome.
I I talk about a guy a lot that I met out in the timber this year, and he shares pictures with the deer, probably one of the bigger deer I have pictures of. And it's cool seeing how far he goes. We've talked about this a lot on the podcast.
Yep.
And I know he's one of the guys that listens, so it's always kind of cool to give him a shout out. One of the 50.
Yeah. And on the flip side of the coin, you got to be careful not just throwing out information because you don't know what people.
Some people are, hey, I'm going to find out where you're hunting, and I'm going to hunt right on that fence line. There's so many people out there. You know what? If you want to be that shady, go ahead.
I mean, I had somebody. We know who it is. I haven't told you the story that somebody found a deadhead this year that sent me a Snapchat of it and was like, yeah, I know that this was shot on my fence line with a muzzleloader, ran in the middle of the farm with no blood, and I wouldn't let him go look for it because he sits on my fence line every year.
Well, as long as it's on the...
Yep, he's like, he shot it on his...
The property line goes straight up and down. If he's on the right side, there ain't nothing that guy can do. He can cry about it all he wants.
Yep.
When it crosses the fence, if you don't have blood, that guy can't go look for it.
And that's what it got to the point where he's like, well, I watched him run in there. He's like, I watched 100 deer run away. It doesn't matter. You don't have blood on your side.
But as a good, moral human being, you found the deer, you should give it to him, or you should contact the officer and say, hey, if the guy didn't shoot a deer, he ate his tag, I found his deer that he shot.
I think there's bad blood there.
Well,
so I think it's.
It's a two-way street. So
and I like I said, I think the one guy is just he takes it a certain way with a guy. He manages his stuff very well. They spend a lot of money for somebody to just sit on a fence line with not a tree on it and wait for those deer that are on his farm to jump the fence to go on his.
They're not his deer.
Exactly.
It's the state's deer.
You want to think it is, and we're both.
Oh yeah,
we're both
right. But
we
same
say
time,
it. We say that. Oh yeah, my deer. But
if you're not neighborly, then really, what are you doing? Like, if you're not neighborly with your neighbor, and maybe they're a complete a-hole, I understand that. But if you can't work and find some common ground, it kind of shows who you are.
Right. I mean, it goes both ways, and sometimes one side of it just doesn't want to have anything to do with the other side.
Yep.
And that, that's all you can do.
Some people just need a hug.
Yep. Or something.
Or a knuckle sandwich.
Yep. Or something, that's for sure.
Yep.
But either way, but yeah, sheds should be going now through mid-March, early April, basically now till turkey season.
Yep.
Get out and look, but just remember, there's a lot of deer still holding. There
is, and a lot of these people. I mean, I seen deer running today. People are out pushing them, walking around. They might push, $4 or $5 on the neighbors. Oh well, who cares? And it seems like people are shed hunting more earlier and earlier. Maybe social media is playing into a part of that.
I'm sure it does,
but it's
100%.
A lot have shed if they have a chance to go find one, and they can't go on the weekends, or they want to hit some public spot before someone else. Like, there's been guys out here a lot. So
I mean,
there's boot prints everywhere.
I mean, I was driving here, and there's a spot, and I'm not worried about saying it because not very many people listen to this.
Yeah.
But there's a spot, and you used to shed hunt it, but it's closed for a certain date.
Yeah, I know.
It opened today.
How many people are out there?
I didn't see a single car.
Probably because everybody last year went at the same time and ran into each other and had a bad.
Yeah,
and that's kind of the way the public does work.
And I get that. I mean, that particular spot, you cannot go in there till after January 31st. And I remember probably 3 or 4 years ago, you were telling me, dude, just go walk it. I found some good sheds in the past. So I'm like, okay, I got nothing to go today. Let's go. And I went in there at like 9 o'clock in the morning on February 1st, the first day you can legally walk in there, and there were so many frozen boot prints.
Oh, yeah.
Like everything had been touched, everything. Like,
yep.
And I'm just like, man, I try to play by the rules, try to be
Other
legal.
people don't.
And everybody else doesn't. It's pretty disheartening. That's why when it comes to public stuff, I've jokingly said it, but I don't know how jokingly it is. If I had to hunt public, I'd probably never hunt again.
Yeah, and so I've been around this game, the public game, and on each side of it.
Right.
So I understand where you're coming from, but I also see there is spots that you can get to, and I would put money on it that I could kill a big deer every year in those spots.
Oh, yeah.
The guy before me here in my position, he killed back-to-back winners on public.
Right.
So it's definitely doable. I just don't like that headache. You put in all that time for someone to come,
And that's what we've talked about it going out west.
Yep.
Same thing. I can't imagine putting in the time and money just to have run into more hunters than anybody. So
that's why we do it 24/7 and not whenever seasons. And so
right. Yep.
But it is what it is. Some people, we're not going to knock how you do it. We just do it a different way.
Yep. There's nothing wrong
as long
with
as you get out there and do it and you're legal and ethical, good for you guys.
All for it. Deer Classic.
Yeah. Big announcement.
Might as well.
So we've talked about, we have a booth up by the deer sheds and where they score the deer up on top. There's going to be a lot more booths up there this year, but our big announcement is brought to you by a company from GSM. It's a Hawk Blind. We are giving away one
Hawk office.
Hawk office, yep, with a tower.
I think it's just
the blind.
Just the blind.
Okay, yeah.
If whoever, so basically what we're going to do is we're going to have a QR code there at the Classic and a couple easy steps.
Yeah, you need to make sure you subscribe. We'll have that there.
We'll have everything
watch
figured
a video.
out. Yep. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, and then click on a video that will release closer to the Deer Classic that you've done that. If you've already subscribed, you can just click done.
Yep.
You can already just comment underneath it that you've done.
We have
that.
what 11,000s?
11.5.
11.5.
Yep. So hopefully we're at that 12, right about 12 by the time the Deer Classic starts.
Yep. So yeah, Hawk office, which MSRP on those guys, they're all aluminum paneling, and I have 2 of them. You have 2 of them.
Yep.
And they're
nice.
Fun to hunt in. If you have a youth or handicap or anything, if you don't like hunting in the cold, get yourself one of those. So yeah, we'll have we probably won't have one up there, but
yeah,
there will be a few.
There will be some on display. Different
down
booths.
on the main level. Actually, I think there might be some up top.
I'm not 100% sure where everything's going to be labeled out.
But go check them out. The windows are sweet. One hand operation.
Yeah, we won't have an actual blind in our booth, and we're not actually giving it away that day. We will, whoever wins.
Work on shipping.
Yep, whoever wins, we will communicate with you and figure out a local dealer.
Yeah, logistics will be, we'll figure it out.
Yep.
It'll be a nice addition to our booth. We'll have some apparel there too. I think Jesse's going to have some beanies.
Yep, we'll have stocking hats, have regular hats, hoodies,
T-shirts.
and some T-shirts.
Okay. Yep. So we'll have probably 3 or 4 of our staff in there at any given moment, maybe more. So stop by, say hi. Please let us know if you listen to this podcast.
Yep.
That makes us happy, and it makes us keep doing it. We don't.
It gets to be we're so busy. Our kids are busy and stuff. It gets to be a hassle because we do these. I drop them every Sunday morning at 8:00 on YouTube. They get posted either to Outdoor Dan has them on Thursdays on the Outdoor Call Radio app, and they're probably 3 or 4 weeks behind because we had to load everything up before he went on his. And then Spotify, I go every 3 or 4 weeks, and I'll add a bunch to it.
Yep.
I need to finish doing the Apple podcast setup, so that can be another option for people. But it gets to be a pain sometime where Greg and I our schedules don't always jive.
Yeah, we have to, Saturday morning at 6 a.m., let's do one.
We hop on a phone one, and let's just knock out a half-hour one so we can have the consistency.
So that's why you see kind of the different variations of, in person here.
The video,
Yep.
Like right now, this one is, we have a video camera set up at the end. It's kind of getting us. It's a little, we enjoy because it's in person, but we find that we're not.
Yeah, it's a lot easier not to talk over each other when we're doing this because there's no lag, no latency in the system. So it's nice. But Yeah. So yeah, stop by the booth. Tell us that, you know, give us a thumbs up or pat on the back, or maybe like this podcast on YouTube or wherever. But if you would, what do you guys want to hear us talk about? I know we're getting into that next phase as far as different farming practices or different habitat management work on our personal farms. So we're going to be planting, you know, looking to the future, talking about apple trees, persimmons trees, some things to do for view sheds. So Jesse's going to talk about red osier dogwoods a little bit. He's been doing a lot of research on those.
Yep.
If you guys have any, please send him a message.
Yeah, shoot me a message if you got a bunch I can come cut. I'd appreciate it.
Yeah.
I've been racking my brain.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, oh, I think that looks really red. No, they're red.
They're
red.
really
Really red. And I'm like, oh, there's some. I know that's what that is.
I was driving, looking at your snap. I'm like, that's not it, but
it looks red.
Yeah,
it's just
I can see.
It's not as bright of red.
Right.
And I actually just got off the phone at the FSA office earlier today, getting all my CRP stuff switched over. And when I get that taken care of, then I can talk to the NRCS about different practices on how I can plant. And I've been watching videos on all sorts of that. And, you know, I basically need them to tell me, well, you can't do it a certain way. And that's going to determine how I plant my CRP.
Yep.
I mean, there's 3 or 4 different ways of doing it. You know, they're all right.
Yep.
But just some.
It's exciting that you're in that phase, that process.
Yeah. And I've been mapping everything out. Like I got the Hunt Stand app on my computer. And so I can fill in, here's my line of cedars.
Is your name on the deed or on the Hunt Stand?
It's on the deed. I don't know if it is. I don't think it is yet.
Yeah,
I know
it took us almost a year to get switched.
Probably. I mean,
I just checked out the other day because I'm like, oh yes, they finally have it updated. So
yeah, I doubt it. Yeah, I mean the deed was just transferred like
a couple days ago.
Yeah, I mean I had to call the Decatur County office for the FSA to start switching stuff over, and they were like, oh yeah, we'll fax it. It showed up 3 weeks ago.
Oh, so cool. It's exciting. You're now a landowner, and so am I.
Yep, it's a long time coming. It's stressful.
Yeah,
trying to get all this stuff figured out and trying not to screw
it's
stuff up.
It's a never ending project. I know we're gonna cut this fairly short because I gotta get Jace because Jen's coming home from Atlanta. But I walked my property. I'm looking for one set of sheds after work, and this was 3 or 4 days ago. And I know one thing I want to do next, and it's going to be a south-facing slope. I'm going to open it up and try to plant some grasses. So for bedding,
in the edge of the timber,
right on the edge of that. Oh, sorry, that kind of that northeast side. So I was walking on the kind of where the hawk blind is, and I looked over. I'm like, man, that sun is hitting it. There's deer tracks everywhere. There's beds. Like that's where they want to be. If I can open that up, get some direct sunlight, south-facing slope, any wind. I mean, they're out of the wind and the sun. So
yeah, I got a few spots that I've been kind of looking. What is it? It's south, and is it west or east?
East.
I can never remember which one it is till I get out there, and I'm like, okay, yeah, this east. Like I got one little cedar thicket that's in my northeast corner, and I'm like, it's if I could do a few things in here, to like maybe it's hinge cut just a few of the non-desirable trees, and maybe plant some that red osier dogwood that will on the edges.
Tongue twister.
Right. It's like I think I said it right.
Yeah, no, you did.
But yeah, I've been looking at putting in chestnut trees on certain spots and just different.
The biggest thing,
different areas.
Like I said, let's cut this short here.
Yeah, we're good
after this one. But the biggest thing when it comes to planting trees is watering them.
Yeah.
So make sure you have. Hey, I'm gonna plant all these trees. Make sure you have the means to water them after you plant them at least once a week.
I've been looking
That's
at
a big task.
People doing these 5-gallon buckets and putting like 1/8-inch holes in the bottom of them so it slowly releases.
It does. And I'm like, that does work. You can also buy tree bags. They're expensive. We did this on some of the park trees.
Kind of canopy.
The green ones. Yep. But they're a pain to fill if you're trying just to fill them without a hose. So
yeah, I
would do the buckets if I were you.
And I've got a creek that down below that typically always has water in it.
Go down there and dam it up.
And I'm going to go down there and dam it up.
Pretend you're a beaver or muskrat and pack some mud in there.
I'm going to make a little hole so I can go down there with a 5-gallon bucket and scoop some. Like, not stop it.
You might want to buy something for the back of your truck so you can pull up to the trees and make sure you have the trees on the exterior perimeter.
Yeah, they're going to be on the food plot, or like I said, I got a little bit of dirt work to do so I can access, at least with a 4-wheeler, you know, if I can get, you know, 20, 30 gallons to these places, that's all I'll need.
To be honest with you, I wish, you know, money wasn't an issue and I could go buy some apple trees from these, you know, an apple orchard or
big ones,
and spade them out, get them tree spade on the truck. And
yep, I called the local nursery and they said they have like 3-year-old ones that were producing in their yard.
Yeah,
and they're like $200 a piece, and I'm like, I will pay $200 for a tree.
So in 5 years, you can have a bunch of apples.
He's like, they'll probably produce this year. It may not be a bunch, but in the next 2 or 3 years, like you do it right, like you will have apples.
So is he going to plant them for you too?
No, they're like 25-gallon.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're 25-gallon buckets. And I'm like, it's expensive, but I mean, buy it once and if you take care of them.
Yep.
And they're gonna, if you get them in there right, they're going to take. You know.
Right. You just need to cage the snot out of them.
Yep.
The first few years.
Probably for the life of it. You know, until it gets really big.
Yeah. I mean, you got to cage at least a foot or two out from where the leaves are going to expand.
Yep, because you want it high
and you
enough.
don't. The biggest thing, we'll stop talking about trees here shortly, hopefully. The biggest thing is not planting them on top of each other. Make sure you have at least 20, 25 foot. And that way that when you have a grove of them, if that's what you're wanting to do, that's your.
I think I'm going to try to get 3.
3. So space them apart and make sure you're going above and beyond with the fencing around these.
Yep.
And the maintenance that you're going to.
Make sure
you can
2 for sure.
Open them up, weed whip around them, water them, mulch them.
Yep. I've got it in my head.
Yep, it's fun. It's kind of time consuming and expensive, but
but we'll do videos when it gets closer. When this stuff starts happening, we're going to do a lot more of those style YouTube videos this summer, this spring.
That's what people want. They want to know how to do it.
I've been looking at them like crazy. So that's the plan. So
until fishing season, hopefully we can fish.
Yeah, maybe this year there'll be water. But
if anybody wants to buy a boat, it's still on Marketplace.
It's always for sale.
Yep, everything's for sale.
But yeah, we'll wrap this up and you'll get out of here. I got to go and I have to pick Charlotte up from basketball practice. It's kids versus parents tonight, so I'm gonna go dunk.
Don't hurt your knee.
Gonna go dunk on some 10-year-old girls. Show them what's up.
Do you have a knee brace?
I got 2 knee braces, a back brace.
Do you have the arms, wrist straps?
No, I got the ones for tennis elbow and things. Just
stretch.
Get the heating pad.
Make sure you stretch.
I'll get the heating pad plugged in before I leave.
That's what Jen said. She texted me before she got on the flight, and she goes, I just want to hang out with you, Luna, and Jace on the couch on my heating pad. I'm like, you know we're getting old.
Yep. Crazy night. Let's get to bed by 8:30
and stretch every morning.
Yeah, it's sad. But it's life.
It is.
It changes, so
it's fun.
Awesome.
Thanks for listening, guys and gals. Comment down below if you like this.
Yeah, let us know if there's topics you want us to talk about. So
anything goes.
We appreciate it.
Have a good night.